Hi everyone, Mike here. Welcome to week 4, module 4. This week we're going to be doing virtue ethics. More specifically, we're going to be looking at how the ancient ethical study of virtue combined with politics and how our contemporary studies of virtue combine or don't combine very well with politics. You'll see a little more clearly what I mean when you get to the assessment this week. But the first thing I want to talk about is your final micro-teach, your final assignment, which is a few weeks away, a couple of weeks away. This is going to require you just to take on your own ethical topic. What I want you to do is start very generally. Just go to the internet, something that might interest you. It can be literally anything. It can be a topic you follow in the news. It can be something in sports. It can be something in any type of thing that you've run into in our ethics class so far. It could be something from your own personal experience. It's very open, very vague. The main goal is for you to find something that interests you a little bit and to do a little bit more research. So once you've come up with a topic, and I want you to do that this week, I want you to text the topic to me. Many of you have already texted me. If you haven't, the number will be on the webpage. You'll be able to text your general topic. That's this week. And so I want you to think about the topic. I want you to start to plan. And then what I'm going to want you to do is to do a little micro teach. And the focus here is on micro. It's very small. I'm not asking you to do a long presentation. In the past, when I've done this assignment, students have done really short YouTube videos. Some students have done songs. A couple people wrote songs. I've had a student write poetry. I've had a student make an animation, an online comic. Almost anything. If you're a great writer, you're welcome to write. If you want to write a blog post, you're welcome to do that. The point is, I want you to find something that interests you and then present it in some way that's individual to you, rather than me trying to determine what every single thing should be. So the first step this week is for you to start thinking. Think about what you want to do. When you finally come up with something, text it to me. And then start thinking over the next couple weeks how you're going to present it and do a little bit of research so that you can teach for 5-10 minutes tops to the class as a whole. And I'll take some of the assignments and post them so everyone can check them out. As I said, this week we'll be doing virtue ethics. This goes back to the ancient Greek times, the philosopher named Aristotle, who was a student of Plato. And believe it or not, Aristotle was also the teacher for Alexander the Great. If you don't know who that is, you might want to Google it. It's an interesting story of how a philosopher trained someone who, at the time, conquered the known world. But going back to the philosophy, virtue ethics is Aristotle's take on ethics and how ethics functions. There's also many contemporary researchers who are working in this area. So this week, I'm going to ask you to do something a little bit different than what we've done so far. I'm going to want you to go into the reading a little bit, but I'm going to want you to focus on ethics and politics and how they mix together. And then I'm going to ask you to go and take a poll. The poll is a very legitimate source. It's going to ask you to register. You can use an email. They're not going to spam you or anything. If you want to, you can fake it. They don't really seem to care. And there's an online poll that you're going to want to take that's going to look at what you value. What are your virtues? Which things do you tend to value above others? And it'll give you results. And our assessment this week will be based on the combination of Aristotle and this polling. The end result of this is for us to start thinking about how do we deal with the obvious differences we run into in the world. Politics is the easiest place to see it. In the United States and really almost every country that you can think of, there's different sides. There's liberals and conservatives, Democrats, Republicans. There's all types of groups, and they often are on polar opposite sides. So how do we think about this and how it mixes with ethics? And so that's what we're hoping to do this week. And as always, many of you have taken advantage of the text idea. If you haven't, don't forget about it. The easiest and fastest way to get to me with any question, big or small, is to text me. If you feel like for some reason that won't work, you can, of course, email me through Parkland. And I'll get it, usually not quite as fast. If it takes me a couple of days, then, well, sorry about that. If you want me right away, text me, and I'll usually respond within a few minutes. And so I'll see you next week.